Welcome to 49ers After Dark. I'm Grant Cohn. That's Jessie Naylor. And the topic of today's show is, are the Niners being overlooked? I've been doing a lot of shows, and it seems like I'm the only one that thinks the Niners can win this game. Niner fans are so pessimistic, but I am a beacon of optimism and hope. So we're going to talk about why Niners.
I don't know why I highly doubt that one, but maybe it's true.
Yeah, I like that. But first, let's talk about the most disrespected team in the league, the 49ers, and all the people who could get awards this year. What do you think, Jesse? Let's go through the list of people who were nominated.
Yeah, so there's a ton. So let's start with Coach of the Year. So the three nominations are Kyle Shanahan, Doug Peterson, and Brian Daboll, which...
Wow.
No surprise there. I mean, we thought maybe Sirianni might be in there, but the other
He wasn't even an honorable... Wow.
No,
okay.
No,
Wow.
final three. So out of those three, Daboll, Peterson, and Shanahan, would you give the award to Shanahan?
Would I give it to Shanahan?
Would you give it to Shanahan?
No.
Oh,
I think this
why?
award goes to the coach who does the most with the least.
Okay.
And I think that the two coaches with the best rosters are him and Sirianni.
Yeah.
So but I understand why Kyle Shanahan. He's going to win this award. Let me just say that.
You think so?
He's gonna. Yes.
Okay.
But I would give it to, I don't know, one of the other two, because I feel like they did more with less.
Yeah.
But Kyle, the people who, first of all, Kyle's a media darling. People love Kyle. They love his dad. They love him. Also, the people who vote are writers. Writers love narratives. The best narrative this year is the Brock Purdy narrative. And that is going to get a lot of people on this team awards. So I think Kyle's going to win this award. I do. He won all these games with his third-string quarterback.
I've been saying it for a few weeks now, Grant. I do. I think he does deserve this award because of that. Going through three quarterbacks, I mean, even if your team's really good, the Eagles are a great example of this. They lost Hurts for 2 weeks and we're 0-2. So...
But here's the thing about what's interesting about the Niners. It's like, yeah, they're doing it with their third-string quarterback, but let's not pretend like he's not the best quarterback on the team. I think what's interesting about this season is I don't know that they would have made it this far with Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't know that they would have made it this far with Trey Lance. We'll never know. But what's happening is this third-string quarterback is elevating the team, which is highly unlikely. But he's not playing like a third-string quarterback. He's playing like a top 15 quarterback in the league.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with that, but I mean, he's done it with so many quarterbacks. Like, he's
going to win the award. He's going to win this award
with Jimmy Garoppolo right now. Like, are we
can never be sure
about that?
Or we can't be positive about that.
Yeah.
We can't. But I'm very confident.
Yeah,
that's just me.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Purdy's better than Garoppolo. I'm just saying, like, if Garoppolo had stayed healthy, this would be the spot where we're like, okay, Garoppolo, he's going to do Garoppolo things, and they're going to lose. You know what I mean? So
I think Jimmy would have thrown a pick against Dallas, but again, we just don't know.
Yeah,
we can't argue about hypotheticals. Let's go. There are way more.
Oh, there's a bunch of them. Okay, so comeback player of the year, we got Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, and Geno Smith. This is a good trio here. Do you think Christian McCaffrey deserves that award?
No, I don't think he's going to get it either. For whatever reason, he gets no awards in the NFL. People hate him. It's going to go to Geno. It's going to go to Geno or Saquon. Saquon's coming back. Did Saquon injure himself last year? Or has he been back for a couple?
It was 2 years ago, but he did nothing last year too. So he was injured last year as well, but it was the ACL 2 years ago, I believe.
I feel like Geno's the ultimate comeback story. It's got to go to him. Got to go.
Yeah,
I think it's going to go to Geno.
Quarterback, and you're probably likely. If it was me, I'd actually give it to Saquon because him and Christian had similar 2 years in a row that were down years, but Saquon came off of a way more catastrophic injury. Right. So I'd probably give it to him.
What did Geno come back from? Being bad?
Yeah, just being awful for 9 years.
Yeah. I don't think that's actually a comeback. He shouldn't be the comeback player. Like, comeback means you were good, you something happened and you came back. He was just bad, and then he emerged late. He should be like the Rich Gannon Award for the late emergence. Yes. Right. Okay, so we should go to Saquon. Because McCaffrey got hurt 2 years ago too, right?
He did, but it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't a major injury.
Right.
We're not talking Achilles or an ACL. Or
I'll give this one to Saquon.
All right. Defensive player of the year. They've got Nick Bosa, Chris Jones, and Micah Parsons. Bosa deserves this award. Bosa does.
I think Bosa had the better season, but I thought Micah Parsons was more impressive in that game. I don't know what's going on with Bosa. Maybe he's tired. But yeah, Bosa is going to get this. He's going to get this for sure. He deserves it. Better season.
Yeah. And we have to remember it is a regular season award too. So
yeah, it is.
Actually, we're not taking anything. It was voted on. It was done before these playoff games. So it's, those don't factor in. So, okay. And I think Bosa deserves it. Okay. Offensive rookie of the year, Brock Purdy, Kenneth Walker, and Garrett Wilson. It's got to go to Brock. It should be
Brock,
right?
And it's going to be Brock. It should be Brock, and it's going to be Brock. The only reason you say it wouldn't be Brock is he didn't play the full season. But again, these are writers who love narratives. And he's got all the stats on his side. Small sample size, who cares? What he did, again, if 10 years from now, if you're trying to be like, well, who's the most remarkable rookie from 2022? You're just going to remember Brock. You're not really going to be like, Garrett Wilson, Kenneth Walker. Yeah, no, absolutely not. No, it's got to be Brock.
Yeah, I agree. It's Brock Purdy. It's got to be Brock Purdy. And I think it will be Brock Purdy. All right, the final one, and I think this one's a really good one. It's Assistant Coach of the Year. So you got Ben Johnson, the OC from Detroit. Shane, I think it's Steichen, which is the OC from
Philly. Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
And then D'Amico Ryans, of course, San Francisco 49ers.
I'm going to say something outrageous.
Okay, because I might say something outrageous. That's what I was going to say. It was Ben Johnson, yeah.
Because, I mean, again, D'Amico and Shane Steichen, whatever their names are, great coaches. But they have the best units in the league. I mean, there are certain games where D'Amico had to do very little. He called like 1 or 2 blitzes and essentially said, hey, Bosa, do your thing. Fred, do your thing. Same with the Eagles. Like, there's no weaknesses in that offense. What the Lions were able to do with freaking Jared Goff and whoever the hell is on that team was pretty impressive. I have to give it to him.
I mean, they were a top 3 offense all year. I agree. Ben Johnson did a fantastic job with the Detroit Lions. I agree with you. Yes. Yeah. Ben Johnson, I think, deserves that award.
Yeah. That being said, I wouldn't be surprised if it went to D'Amico. Number 1 defense. He is. You talk about Nick Sirianni not being popular in the league. I don't know why. D'Amico is popular in the league. Mm-hmm. Everyone likes D'Amico. Mm-hmm. Everyone wants so I wouldn't be surprised if he won that award. Can we come back to Nick Sirianni not even getting a freaking nomination? Wow.
I mean, if they only go 3, Dayball, Peterson, and Shanahan are tough to overcome. I get it. Number 1 seed. I do understand that, but
and no Andy Reid either. Like, not even considered.
Yeah.
Doug Peterson is a better coach than Andy Reid. Are you kidding me? Brian Daboll pretty good. I might go with Daboll on that one. Like,
Doug Peterson has a Super Bowl win though, and you know what I mean?
That's true. Doug Peterson inherited Trevor Lawrence. Like, Brian Daboll went and resuscitated Daniel Jones. I don't even, and actually showed that Daniel Jones is a good quarterback. I like Daniel Jones.
To be fair,
who's better, Daniel Jones or Geno Smith? I had this debate with Niner fans earlier. Niner fans want to say it's Geno because
it's Daniel Jones.
Thank you. I said that Daniel Jones was better than Brock Purdy, and Niner fans got pissed.
It's Danny Dimes. Let's get it right. But no, I take Daniel Jones over Geno Smith every day of the week.
Spy Dirty says, can you give Dusty Baker his flowers? Also, shine for you and me in Liberty. I don't get it. But yes, I can try. Shout out Dusty Baker. Love the content, says Angie999. Thank you. Jesse, are you going to the game on Sunday? Says Bus301.
No. Way too expensive.
I don't think many Niner fans are going to this game. I think it's going to be a road game, like the first true road game they've had in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, it'll probably be like 25% Niner fans, but that's still, 75%. It's a lot.
I mean, even in Seattle, a month and a half ago, it felt like 50-50 to me.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Eagles coaching staff will collapse, not exactly Philly tough, only acting it.
We'll talk about that. Talk about it.
Niners Cade says Dan Quinn rumors to Arizona sounds like nightmare fuel for Kyle. LOL. It's interesting. Of all the defensive coaches, I do like him, but I just don't think I would hire a defensive coach because his offensive coordinator is not going to be good. Bill Belichick had Matt Patricia this year.
Yeah, that's awful. Who's D'Amico Ryans going to take, I wonder? Who does D'Amico take?
Good question. I don't know.
He's going to end up in Denver. He's going to be Denver's head coach, by the way.
That sucks.
With Russell Wilson. So you better get somebody good in there.
Yeah. Matthew Sanders says, to stop the RPO, linebackers have to slide laterally on assignment. Safeties relied upon man and don't go until you know philosophy. Can they do it? I don't know, man. They didn't face a lot of RPO this year. I mean, who does it in their division? Theoretically, Arizona, but they never faced Kyler Murray this year. I don't know. think they can. It's just the Niners want to. It forces them to be patient. It's not what they want to do. What's up, G's? I got nothing to say. Just hi, says Double B Studio.
What's up, Double B?
Just asking, do these awards get any money from the NFL? I don't know. Do you get award? Do you get money?
I'm sure that I would assume that there's some sort of contractual thing that gets these guys extra money for sure, but I don't think the NFL pays them.
Neil says, I thought you said Dak was good last week. Yeah, I take that shit back. Sorry.
Listen, I think Dak's getting creamed, and he's nothing. He's not anything amazing, but quarterback play in the NFL is not very good. It's just not outside of the top 7 or so. Everybody else outside the top 7, you got another 10 or so that flip-flop every year. They could be anywhere from 8 to 15 on any given year, and Dak falls in that category.
All I know is if everyone in the world knows what you mean when you say Dak gonna Dak and it's bad, that's not good.
No.
That's not good at all.
But like I said, I mean, you could – who are the other quarterbacks in that category? I mean, we're talking about like Kyler Murray. Okay, he does the same stuff. Carr does the same things. Tannehill. Kirk Cousins. They're all the same. They're all the same.
Jimmy.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. What you don't want to do is spend $50 million a year on a guy like that. You know. Niners Cade says Eagles assistant DB coach was a DB coach at Iowa when Purdy was there and said there's a whole lot of things they need to have done to have a chance. Is this something that should be of concern? I mean, no, not really. That's a long time ago.
The Eagles are just good, period.
That's the concern.
It's going to be two good teams in a clash of the Titans. It's going to be great.
Yeah, but are the 49ers being overlooked? I mean, I'm overwhelmed by how good Philadelphia is. I look at them on paper and I don't see many weaknesses. The Niners are underdogs, and I think most people, it's early in the week, but I think most people are picking the Eagles to win this game. What do you think? Are the Niners being overlooked?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the national pundits are all talking Eagles. And, I mean, deservedly so. Number 1 seed, they're at home. I get all those things, but I think there's some intangibles that are being overlooked here. I think, first of all, the 49ers have the experience on their side. And not just from a player standpoint, but like this team as a together unit has this experience just last year for the most part. Charvarius Ward came from a team that won a Super Bowl and was in an AFC championship multiple years, so he's got the experience. I just feel like you've got the experience edge, you've got the coaching edge. I mean, there's no doubt about it. The Eagles coaches aren't bad, but they don't have the edge in this one. The 49ers absolutely do. They essentially have 2 head coaches on offense and on defense. And then everybody taught this is the most interesting thing. Everybody talks about the 70 sacks, which is a phenomenal number. But if you peel the onion back a little bit, Grant, they had 41 sacks in 6 games, 29 in the other 11. So they went crazy in 6 games against some really bad teams to get a majority of those sacks. They averaged almost 7 sacks a game for those 6 games against bad teams. And then once the schedule got a little bit tougher, they evened out and they were around like the 2.68-ish range. So the Eagles are really good. Don't get me wrong. This is a 50-50 game, but a lot of people are making it sound like the 49ers have 0 shot because they have a rookie quarterback and all these other things. But there's a lot of intangibles that are being overlooked, in my opinion, and people aren't giving San Francisco a shot. And I think it's dumb.
I think they definitely have a shot. I think the way I look at it is, what are they, 2.5-point underdogs? On the road. I mean, that's fair. I don't think anyone expected that they would be favorites as the number 2 seed on the road. So I think the way that Vegas set the line is reasonable. And I think if people say that Philly's a little bit better, that's fair. But the team that's a little bit better doesn't always win. And I think we know the Niners can win. They've beaten teams that are technically better than them on paper. And I don't think the margin between these teams is very big. I think it's pretty small. I think these are the 2 best rosters in the league. Other teams may have better quarterbacks, but these are the 2 best rosters in the league, and they just so happen to have young quarterbacks who are playing really well. So I think it's going to be a great game. These teams don't beat themselves. But to say that the Niners are going to have to play their best and take it up a notch from last week, that's fair too.
I agree.
To say they're going to have to play better than they've played in about a month and a half, that's fair too. But to also say that, hey, Philly hasn't seen what's coming to town yet, that's also fair. So I think that's why this game is so intriguing. And I don't think it really matters who we pick because that has no bearing on who's going to win.
Right,
so
right.
What the best part is that this game's going to happen and we're going to watch it. Can't wait.
I think this is going to be a classic, Grant. And just looking at this is me personally. Maybe this is the fan in me. I feel like out of these two teams, if one team can go on the road and win, I think it's the 49ers. I think if this was in California, I think, I mean, I'd probably give an 80% chance to the 49ers to win that game. But since it's on the road, I'm going 50-50. I don't think that would be my feeling if they were coming to see San Francisco. That's just my personal thought on it.
I guess my question is, who's going to be balanced on offense in this game? Against Dallas, it was Dallas in the first half, and the game was close. But then Pollard got hurt, and Dallas got tired, and things flipped. And in this game, I mean, Philly's 3 deep at running back plus the quarterback. I mean, they're more committed to running the ball than the 49ers. They ran the ball more times than the 49ers this year. If they can sort of mimic what Atlanta did, but just do it better, like what do the Niners do against that? I'm just a little curious because I think everyone expects
be healthy, but they be healthy.
That's true. That's true. But again,
they had 8 starters out at one point.
That's true. But again, what Atlanta did was nothing spectacular. It was just run for 4 or 5 yards a carry on first down and sort of stay ahead of the chains and use your mobile quarterback. And it was Atlanta. They suck. But now you have a great team against a fully healthy Niners. You could maybe use the same principle because Mariota was never, ever under pressure. There were no pass rushes in that game. They never had the opportunity. I don't know. I feel like that's sort of what Philly could do. But at the same time, if the Niners shut down that zone read run game, then Philly's in trouble. If Christian McCaffrey gets shut down, then the Niners are in trouble. I think it's all about which team can be balanced. And I don't know which team is going to be. Right now, I'm a little concerned about the Niners. I'm concerned about the Niners run game, not Brock. Where the hell was the run game in the first half against Dallas? Where the hell was it? Because all week we were like, oh, man, this is a run through. I thought, did we like an over-under for yards from scrimmage from McCaffrey? I said like 200. Psych. Psych. And we're expecting that again this week, right? Oh, man, they just can't stop McCaffrey. Well, he didn't practice today. He's got a calf issue, and they're going to stack the box. And you know what I mean? So, the Niners, maybe they're being overlooked, but I think like it's fair to feel like this Philly team is a juggernaut, and if the Niners beat them, it's legendary. This is a better team than any team they've faced in the playoffs so far. This team is crazy.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I do agree with. It's interesting because if this Niner team was put back in 2019, they probably win the Super Bowl. If this Niner team was put back last year, they probably win the Super Bowl. This is the best Niner team, but the Eagles by far are the best opponent that they've faced, I think, on paper over all these teams.
I compare them to the Rams last year that they lost to. This is a way better team. The Rams could never run the ball.
Right.
Ever. This team can run the ball. So,
Eagles
that team had Cooper Kupp. This team has A.J. Brown and Devontae. So, and again, the Niners can win this game. They absolutely can. I'm not coming up here being like, hey, Niner fans, guess what? You're going to get blown out.
No.
I don't feel that. I don't feel that at all. And I think if the Niners listen closely and follow our advice, they could win. And if they do, I want to raise. Alex says, Jesse, you sure D'Amico to Texans, not D'Amico to Texans next season?
I mean, it could be. There's nothing that's announced. I have a feeling it's Denver.
If you were D'Amico, which one would you rather go to? Denver, which is locked into Russell Wilson, or the Texans, who are kind of a blank slate?
I'd probably go Denver, just because the Texans organization's bad.
Poverty. You know why people want to go to Denver? New owners, super rich.
Yeah.
Super rich.
Yeah. I mean, it sucks being tied to Russell Wilson, but if you miss on that rookie quarterback, you're done anyways too. So, and you don't have the first pick; you have the second pick.
I feel if the Niners get past the Eagles, they win the Super Bowl. Yeah, the thing that scares me though is that even though Kansas City hasn't made it yet, and their quarterback's on one leg, they got Andy Reid on two. Andy Reid with 2 weeks to prepare. They got a good offensive line. The thing about Cincinnati's great. But their offensive line is beat up, and if you can't block the Niners D line, it's just an uphill battle. It's just a really uphill battle.
I'll say this about Cincy though: 2 of those 3 offensive linemen will be back by the Super Bowl, and the one that's not is La'el Collins, which was their worst pass blocker all season.
Fair. And the thing about Cincy is 3 of their best players are on rookie deals: Burrow, Higgins, Chase.
Yep.
I mean, they're a juggernaut.
And they can run the ball too. Mixon he's really good.
Mixon is so good.
Yeah.
Does Chris Kasarik take over at DC if Ryans leaves? I asked him this question in the offseason. He doesn't have aspirations to be a DC. So at least it's what he said.
Which is great for the 49ers, by the way. They don't have to worry about losing him.
Right. Feels good to finally be the underdog against his lawless light. Rightfully so. Eagles are great. Dre and Fred need a great game with the D-line keeping contained, no hero ball. Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
The Niners need their stars to step up. Fred Warner and Kittle did last game. Now we need Bosa, McCaffrey, Debo. Those three would be great if they could step up and play at their absolute best in this game. Jorge says, greetings from the 305, gents. What is the 305? Is it Miami?
I don't know. He said the same thing on my show. I'm like, I don't know what that is, but I like it.
Monday's headline feels pretty great, baby, with a picture of BP pounding on his chest. I like it, but I think we're going to have to look for new puns for Purdy. Yo, what's good? This game can't come soon enough. If we win or lose, who gets the most credit or blame? Yo, can we? We'll have to see who wins the game.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's a hypothetical I can't answer. I'm sorry. I'd like to.
Yeah.
Philly ranks 21st in run defense. We're going to cook them. Yeah, but did you watch the game against the Giants? They shut down Barkley until the game was over. I mean, you know the Eagles are going to just load the box. They're not going to give Brock Purdy respect until he earns it against them. And that's what Dallas did. So, I don't know. It's not that simple.
Also, believe it or not, the one thing the 49ers do is they run out of 21 personnel and they run outside zone more than any team in the league. In Philadelphia, out of all the things that they're good against when it comes to the run stop, is actually 21 personnel outside zone, only 3.2 yards a carry. Everything else, they get blown up. But in that scenario, they're actually really good defensively.
You know what that tells me? Jordan Mason!
Yeah. Listen, here's the thing. It's funny because the Jordan Mason thing is coming up an awful lot, Grant. If it hasn't happened to this point, it's just not happening. I'm sorry. I know it. It's not.
I hope they don't lose because they can't run the ball and he doesn't get a carry. That would be awful. Happy belated birthday, says David Baker. Thank you. Keep up the good work. I will. I promise. I got you. Jorge says loved ABBA growing up in Peru in the 70s. Okay, he's from Peru. Oh, he's not. He's from Peru, but he's not. He's in the 305. I'm thinking that's Miami. Fernando is very good, but it ain't. No, the winner takes it all. Gets to me all the time. No, Fernando, I always felt was their most silly song, and it's kind of at the end of their greatest hits. And when my mom would play it, when they got to that one, I was like, all right, Mom, can we change? Can we put on a different record, please? This song is ridiculous. They're Swedish, right?
But
they're Swedish.
The one that you always sing.
I don't even know why I started singing it, and now I can't stop. They won't let me. Hey, Grant and Jesse. Grant, how was the locker room environment this week? I feel Debo is getting way too cocky. Jesse, do you ever talk back with the guests behind enemy lines after the game? You go first.
Do I ever talk back? Actually, this week I did. Not with the behind enemy lines, but if you remember, I did a call-in show, and I had a Cowboys content creator call in, and we made a bet, and he had to cash in on his bet. Monday, he had me on his show, and we talked through the game. It was actually a really good time, a lot of fun for sure. And most of these guys I've stayed in contact with. So it's nice to have those contacts going into future years because if we ever play these teams, I already got people lined up. So, yeah.
I was just in there today, so they felt quite
confident.
I mean, absolutely. Debo, what's interesting is Kyle Shanahan said, surprisingly, ankle injury, not practicing today. Everyone's like, what are you talking about? And we asked him, Debo comes to he goes to the podium today. He's like, no, I'm fine. And then he's at practice. They said he wasn't going to practice, so he's practicing. He's dancing. I'm not worried about Debo. I don't know what the hell that was about. I'm more concerned about Mitchell and McCaffrey. They were not out there. They needed the day off. Like, the NFC Championship game is in 4 days, and they're like, I can't do it today. So
Mitchell can't stay healthy, man. This poor kid. He just can't.
Kid. And I mean, I don't know what McCaffrey's been fighting through. God love him. He's a soldier, but he's got something too. So what is the run game going to be this weekend? Is it Debo? Is it Jordan Mason? Or is it I don't know. I guess we'll see.
The calf thing has been ongoing for like 3-4 weeks too. This is not a new injury.
I know. LA Blue 49 says, at what point does experience playing in the conference final come into play? 3 out of the last 4 years with the most Niners playing still on this team. I think it's definitely a factor for sure.
Yep.
For sure.
And that's what I was talking about. I think that's one of those, again, everybody talks about rosters and how they stack up against this defense and this offense and all these things. We're going to break it down every way but Sunday. And it's just one of those things that matters. It does, it absolutely matters.
Todd99 says it's the Trey Sermon Bowl. Winner gets CMC next year. Do you think Kyle will blitz more to counter that Philly O-line? I mean, you're going to need to generate pressure if you can't do it with 4, but you don't want to blitz by up the middle by Kelsey. I mean, you got to find something off the edge that'll work.
So Jalen Hurts, here's an interesting stat, because I actually thought this would be opposite. Jalen Hurts, I was like, you know what? Even if he doesn't run, if he rolls out, buys time, he's got a really good deep ball. He's got good deep ball receivers. When he rolls out and doesn't run, he's only 39% completions. If they can keep him from running past the line of scrimmage and actually throwing once he gets outside the pocket, 39% completion. That's
an interesting
not
stat.
Good for a quarterback who's mobile.
I think the Eagles are in for a rude awakening. Whew, they just might be. Abu Marco 23 says, we were lucky to draw the Cowboys for the Eagles. They're like a mini version of the Eagles. We would have been shell-shocked in Philly if we played Vikings last week. I think we're ready. That's an interesting point. I see exactly what he means. Minnesota was soft. Dallas wasn't.
Yeah, Minnesota wasn't going to do anything for the 49ers.
Dallas beat themselves because their quarterback is ridiculous, but the rest of the team came to play.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Richard G. Personal Touch Detailing says, isn't this the best team the Eagles have faced this year? Not 100% sure, but if we're comparing apples to apples, yes, it's the best team the Eagles have faced. It's the best team the Niners have faced. I mean, These could be the two best teams in the league. This could be the Super Bowl.
Yep, it could be. It really very well could be. Yeah.
Can Eagles match Niners physicality, says Double B Studio? I think so.
I think so.
I think they
can.
can.
I think if there's one team that can, it's Philly.
I think that's why it's such a great matchup. I love it. Jorge says, now donating $9.99 because you were cool enough to grant my request. How about him, Cowboys plus Fernando? I did. If we beat the Eagles, will you do a Sirianni stupid face plus Fernando? Yeah, what is that? There's Sirianni. He's like, he does this like, what are you doing, man? Like, imagine if Kyle did shit like that.
You would. Oh, if first of all, if Kyle did that and started 3-5, oh God, Grant would have you think Grant has a field day now with Kyle? He would obliterate him.
And it's like, Sirianni, I get you, man. You're winning. Like, puff out your chest, but one day you won't be, and people are gonna bring this up.
It's not gonna. No,
you're gonna be a meme, but not yet. But you're gonna be. Dominic, thank you. Buzz 301 seems like Dallas expected SF inside run, but were caught off guard with outside runs. Kyle should do more outside runs. Were they? I feel like they shut down all the runs in the first half, and then they got tired.
The problem is, and I kept tweeting it. I was talking about it before the game. They kept running away from Parsons, which is the worst thing you can do because Parsons is so fast he can just track you down the line and get you, catch the running back from behind.
It's a great point.
When they started running at Parsons, that's when they were effective.
If they keep Hurts in the pocket, he's toast. Good luck. I mean, look, yeah, I agree, but they don't. That's like they're one of the worst teams at keeping quarterbacks in the pocket, and they know it. So yeah, they need to do that. So you're saying there's a chance as Rick H? Yeah, of course there's a chance. Ryan Holmes, super sticker. David Baker. Have you ever seen the movie The Natural? Brock.
Yeah.
Yes, I read the book too. That's a baseball movie.
Mm-hmm.
And The Natural. He also had a magical bat called Wonder Boy. Am I wrong? And then it broke.
So long since I've seen that movie, but.
And in the book, he fails. In the movie, he comes through. Is it
really?
Robert Redford? Yeah. Book he fails. I think Wonder Boy breaks and it's a tragedy. The movie has a Hollywood ending, but the book, I just ruined the book for everyone who wanted to read it. Niner Boss Talk says, the spread being -2 is very intriguing. That means Vegas is saying pick 'em game pretty much. Typically don't. You get 3 points for being at home. I don't know if you do anymore. Tony Farmer was online saying not, but it seems to me like what he's saying is not every team has a legit home field advantage. Philly does.
Yeah, Philly
me,
does.
This could be a pick 'em game. This literally could be a pick 'em game.
Yeah, so the league average, so it used to be 3 automatically. He actually did a really good job talking through it with me online. But that league average has dropped down to like 1.78 points.
Okay.
But that's the average. Philly is in the higher range, so they're closer to that 2.5, which they're basically.
But to his point, part of it is just teams are better at traveling now. It's like a science.
For sure.
Time for Debo to earn that extension. Man, he needs to step up. They could use him. Mike Baker
was
says
great against Seattle, but we need it now.
If D'Amico leaves, I know you said Fangio would be a good replacement for DC, but I hear Sean Payton wants him. Any other good candidates for DC? Who's hiring Sean Payton though?
Sean Payton is very picky, and Chargers didn't fire their coach. Dallas isn't firing theirs.
Also, Sean Payton is controversial, man. He got suspended for a year. He had a bounty on players. He's controversial. Any takeaways from Iowa versus Oklahoma game for Sunday? No. Both quarterbacks didn't face each other, and they're now facing NFL defenses, so no.
Exactly.
Sorry. The Goose says, get Jennings and Juice involved, Niners win. It seems like anytime those two get involved, they win. You can't stop Ayuk, McCaffrey, Kittle, Debo, and those two. It's too much.
I feel like, okay, obviously the Eagles are going to try to do what Dallas did. They're going to try to take away CMC and Debo, and maybe they can succeed at that. So why not build the game plan around all the other pieces, the Ayuks, the Kittles, the Juszczyks, the Jennings, go that route for the first half. And then in the second half, when it's like, oh God, okay, they're not even going to these two. Let's stop trying to contain them. Let's try to get everybody else. Then you can start to unleash Debo and CMC. I don't know. If they're going to zig, why not zag? That's the way I see it.
Masha Madness says, after what I saw on offense Sunday, I still feel Lance is the quarterback we need for the future. Don't get me wrong, I love Brock, but we need more at the quarterback position. That's how I kind of felt too. And it wasn't that I was like, you know what, I've seen enough from Brock. I'm like, you know what, I think Lance just came back in the picture. Because God love Brock. He played his ass off last week, was great, but the physical limitations were apparent. They were. And now you're look at the last 4 quarterbacks left. You got 3 guys with no limitations in Brock. And Brock might be the one who wins the Super Bowl, but he might not. So we'll have to see. I'm with you on that, Macho Madness.
Yeah, you know what's interesting with the Brock thing is I didn't look at that game as like physical limitations. I looked at that game as decision making. There was quite a few times, if you really break down that film, where he had guys open and he panicked and started running backwards and rolling out left and doing his thing. But if he would have just stepped up in the pocket, he easily could have completed. He could have had a touchdown pass to Debo very easily in that game. He had a second pass to Debo Debo, it was the same concept they kept running last week where they had a clear out route and a deep dig. Debo's wide open and he's got him in a clean pocket and he's looking right at him and then he just bails out the backside. It's like, I understand that you like that and you're comfortable with that, but long term, if he is going to be the quarterback, and everybody thinks that's the case, so let's go with it. If he's going to be the quarterback long term, that's where he's going to have to improve. He's going to have to.
But that's what I'm saying. I mean, there was enough in this game that made you feel like I don't know that he's going to be the quarterback long term. They scored 19 points, and it's like it's not all his fault. Like they didn't have a great run game and they didn't have great pass protection. But I don't know that he's going to be. He might be the quarterback for now. That's what I'm saying. He might be the quarterback for now.
Grant, I've been trying to say this for 7 weeks. Nobody wants to hear it, but I mean, this is kind of what I've been trying to say is like we don't know the answer. I think we kind of got it, but if you don't have the all-star cast all clicking at the same time, what does the offense look like? And I think we got some of our answers. And if you look at the last 2 weeks, the first half is when they haven't done the best, and that's when they were putting it all on Purdy's right arm. Once they start running the ball and allowing him to kind of go through play action and not be the center of the offense, that's when he performs better. So
Esteban Gonzalez says maybe too optimistic. Eagles played nearly perfect against a really average Giants squad. No resistance. Ryan Holmes says, see Washington versus Eagles. Washington wins in time of possession. 40 minutes was key. Surprisingly, Washington lost the turnover battle 4-2. Plays out nicely for us.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, they laid out the blueprint. We definitely, and the Eagles are interesting because they can beat you multiple ways on offense. They can go up tempo, which I actually think they're going to do in this game. I think they want to try to get a situation where the 49ers can't rotate out their defensive linemen and those types of things. So I think they're going to go up tempo a lot, but that bodes well for the 49ers if they want to play keep away. So we'll see how
what
it
did you
plays
say
out.
What did you say about the Eagles defense? They're really good at stopping outside zone from 21
outside
personnel.
Zone and 21 personnel, which is what the 49ers like to do.
Washington has a different, the Niners used to have a physical run game, but then they traded for Christian McCaffrey, who's great, but he's not physical. He's finesse. You can't compare him to Brian Robinson. So yeah, can the Niners do what Washington did? Yeah, if they play Jordan Mason, but they won't.
Yeah.
But they won't. So they're gonna have to do something else.
I feel like Elijah also runs with more power than CMC as well.
But what's up with Elijah? What's up with Elijah?
I don't know.
Matthew Sanders says, we best not blitz above 30%. We will get cooked. They won't. They don't blitz that much.
They don't blitz.
PB and Hurts played in college. Numbers were identical. Thank you. I didn't know that. Lauren says, easier said than done, but the defense needs to keep Hurts in the pocket and force him to drop back and throw. Yes. That's what you have to do with every mobile quarterback. Phillip, you know what I'm talking about.
I think that's what's interesting about this game is, we talk about Purdy, and I think this is what everybody wants to talk about. Well, Purdy's a rookie, and he's never been in these situations, and can he win it? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that, but I have the same questions everybody has about Purdy I have about Jalen Hurts. Like, if he's forced to win it on his right arm, can he do it? Maybe, but I can't guarantee that.
This game's going to come down to coaching. Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I'm more concerned about Kyle than Brock, personally. After the game, Dak Prescott threw his helmet in disgust, and it was interesting. You deserve that. You deserve that, Dak. Dominic, thank you. Thomas Geis says, you just ruined that book. I was literally in the middle of it. So sorry. Noob says, could the difference... I'm so sorry. Could the difference in the game, slot receivers and nickel corners, JJ could dominate their 5'9" corner, Jimmy Ward? Well, Avonte Maddox is coming back. We're going to talk about that too. We're going to talk about that, Anoop. I wish Tart made the Eagles roster. The Eagles are 1-3 against top 8 defenses. This dude.
I feel like the super chats during 49ers After Dark they're just a different level than what your normal shows are. I'm just going to say that.
This dude, whose name I'm not going to say because I don't have the liberty to say that, says, why haven't the Niners used Jordan Mason more and Drake Jackson? Also, why not try Danny Gray on some punt returns? He's fast. Because the Niners are racist against rookies. They're racist against rookies.
They're racist against...
They're racist. It's racism.
I think that's ageism rookies. More than racism.
It's racism. It's racism.
It's cool.
It's racism.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
It's great.
It is. There is an ism going on. And I hate isms. I, for one, don't like isms. Stephen Pryor says, good evening, fellas. To add to your comment about Juice and Jawan, Ray, they need to use Ray Sunday. Yeah, man, I feel like Ray was becoming this weapon on offense while Debo was out. And now they're like, hey, Ray, thanks. It's like, what?
Yeah.
His last carry went for 60 yards. Can he get another one, please?
Right.
Sean Payton also missed the playoffs a lot with prime Drew Brees. He also put a bounty on players. Jeremy Price says, what's up, y'all? I love going into this game as underdogs. Next year's QB1, Glock, QB2. Oh, my God. Yimmy, QB3, Jimmy, Area. Your thoughts? Go away, Jeremy.
No,
go away.
I
love Jeremy.
But
he's just doing that to piss us off.
Okay, can I say this? I don't care who starts. I don't care who's the backup quarterback. Jimmy G cannot be on this roster.
He needs to go somewhere else.
Can we just all agree that Jimmy G should not be on this roster? Everybody just collectively agree on that?
I agree. Kevin Jones says, because of the defensive line, you think the Niners do a bunch of quick passes like they do against the Rams? Yeah.
They can, for sure. Yes, absolutely. They can take advantage. And I'll say this, that was there against Seattle. So
305 is Miami. Thought Jesse would know since he's in the 813.
Dude,
I do.
I live in a bubble here in Tampa, and it's fine, but I don't,
D better than 19, pass rush as good. I'll take that DeForest Buckner team. I don't know.
I'll take the secondary, though.
Travarius Ward needs to get it together.
Linebacking core, too.
Oh, yeah. Carol T says, Barrows and Athletic asked Trent Williams about slow starts. He said Kyle Shanahan tries to get a feel for how defense will react. Doesn't he have film to watch? Yeah, man. After the game, when you were like, so Kyle, man, your offense scored 19 points. He's like, yeah, it's kind of what we were expecting. He's like, don't do that. Don't tell me.
Come on.
Andrew Menard says, Niners and Eagles haven't faced a team as good as each other. Going to be one hell of a game. Agree. Yep. Noah says, hopes the Niners put Sirianni in his place. Looking forward to a blank expression on his face. They just might. Do you think the Niners are going to win the Super? They're going to win the Super. Whether they win the Super Bowl is a whole different question. Okay.
Yeah. Didn't they win the Super last week?
I think they win the Super. Okay.
Yeah.
Who's more important this week, Debo Samuel or Christian McCaffrey?
Oh, man. I'll say this. They both can't have bad games again. That cannot happen because both of them were almost non-existent. I have to give the nod to CMC, man. I mean, this team changed when he came on the roster, not when Debo came on the roster. Last year it was Debo. This year it was CMC. They won multiple games without Debo, and Brock Purdy has him and CMC are on the same page. They have good rapport. They've played together a lot. CMC's his safety blanket. And, I mean, quite frankly, I think in a vacuum, CMC is just a little bit better player than Debo. So I got to go CMC.
That's interesting. I think I would go with him too, since ever since he came here, he's been the engine of the offense. Everything has gone through him, and Debo really has been kind of MIA this year. I mean, he's had moments, but he hasn't been anywhere near what he was last year. That being said, I don't really know what their health status is, but all I know is that Debo was at the podium, on the field, dancing, running around, and McCaffrey was doing rehab. So if Debo's healthier, then the Niners, he needs to be the one who steps up. I mean, it's hard to ask a dude who's 60% or whatever the hell McCaffrey is to step it up.
Right.
So I mean, Debo, like McCaffrey got the Niners this far, and we were saying maybe take it easy on him, but they didn't. And now there's some consequences. Maybe if this is all he can do, well, Debo, man, like you've been pacing yourself for like 12 months. Could you please I think he could step it up. I think it's fair to ask Debo to have one super transcendent game this year. Now, do it. Play running back. Run for 150 this week, dude. Go for two touchdowns.
And what's crazy is after the Seattle game, we talked about how all of a sudden he looked like he had his speed back and his burst was there and all the things were. And then last week, it just didn't come to fruition. It didn't, to be fair, it just didn't come to fruition for really many people. Kittle. Shout out Kittle.
Hell yeah.
He stepped up big time in that game.
Yeah.
But outside of that, the offense was very stagnant. Either one of them has to do it. And you're right. I mean, maybe the health is the deciding factor. But if they're both going, CMC is just he's that dude, man. He's that dude.
I mean, if you're the head coach of the team right now, you got to be thinking, what can I get from McCaffrey and Mitchell this week? What can I realistically expect from them? And if it's not much, what do I do?
Yeah.
What do I do?
Yeah.
I got Debo. I got Mason. I got Ray. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
So I'm saying,
That's
just
a lot.
game plan around everybody else. You can do it.
You can do it. Lauren says, I will walk into the sea if Jimmy Garoppolo is on this roster next season. Oh my God, John Lynch. For Lauren's sake, for the future of her life and her family, please. This is bigger than football. Timothy says, feel like this is going to be a strictly blocking game for Kittle because of Mick get slammed. Ooh, they're going to need to get Kittle the ball. They're going to get Kittle the ball.
They got to take advantage of those linebackers, and Kittle's a big part of
Dwelly in
that.
there blocking. Dwelly, you got this, baby. Finesse Kid says Kyle was way too damn conservative last game. This isn't turnover Jimmy. You have Brock. It's Brock Purdy who is mobile enough to operate your entire playbook. I agree. And if Kyle tries to do this like conservative kick field goal stuff, they're going to lose. You can't beat Philly scoring 20 points. They're not going to beat Philly scoring 19 points.
No,
you got to score 28. You got to score 28. That's the goal. Take risks. Go into the game knowing you're the underdog and you might be a little bit inferior to this team. Go for it on 4th and 2.
Philly's a really good red zone offense.
Yeah.
So if they get there, they're going to
take your chances.
Score.
Yeah, take your damn chances. Terradome says, love your lack of vision. It's cute like a punk in a CC camp. This will be a gangster-ish. Frisco Red will be up in there Sunday. Have his money ready. I don't understand a word you just said.
I think what he's saying, because you said that we both agreed that it's going to be mostly Philly fans, right? I said about 75-25. So I think he's saying that the 49ers are going to travel well.
Hey, I'd love to see it. I'm traveling. Macho Madness says, Lance never got a fair shot. True. I want to see Lance get the same opportunity as Brock and Jimmy did. If he fails, then he fails, but we need to see him play. He's going to get that chance. Philip Wilson, he knows what I'm talking about. I'd like to see more Jennings targets. Me too. Yanni Vander says, Drake, Mason, and Gray are fail-safe secret weapons. I don't feel like they're going to go to the rookies this late in the season because Kyle's so conservative.
What happened to TDP?
He was
what? Is this another third-round pick? It's just like...
Philip Coop, thank you. Giovanni Miller, do you think the Niners will take over the stadium? I don't. I think this is going to be a true road game. Avante Maddox is returning to the Eagles. That's their nickel back. A lot of people are looking at the nickel spot as a area that the Niners could exploit. What do you know about Avante Maddox?
Avante Maddox is a really, really good corner. Let me put it to you like this. Avante Maddox has something like 58 less snaps this year than Jimmy Ward in nickel. And by the way, Jimmy Ward's doing really well there. Early on, we're like, I don't know, like, is it going to work? He's playing well. So, yeah, that's good. I like that.
Sorry.
He's got like 58 less snaps than Jimmy Ward at nickel because, he's been injured or what have you. But in those 58 less snaps, he's also allowed like 26 less receptions. So he's really, really good in coverage. He's also a pretty damn good blitzer. And he's been out the last 4 games with a toe injury. He practiced today. They think he's going to play. That is a huge win for them. Not just because Avonte is a good player, which he is, but it allows Chauncey Gardner-Johnson to go back to his normal, natural position, because what they've been doing is he's been having to play the nickel role, and they've been going with this 3 safety look. Well, now he can go back to his natural position. He can kind of roam the field and cause some issues, a la Diggs against the 49ers. And here you go. I mean, you get him right there at the nickel spot. He's a good blitzer. He's a good cover corner. Avonte Maddox is a really, really good player. That is a huge upgrade for them overall on their defense.
Dude, this team is crazy good. Howie Roseman and John Lynch got to be the 2 best GMs in the league right now. I mean, these guys have put together teams with no weaknesses.
Behind Balky, of course.
So, respect to Howie Roseman and the Eagles. Avonte Maddox coming back. I don't know what Brock Purdy's supposed to do. He needs help. Kyle needs to be at his absolute. Someone said this game's going to come down to coaching. If the Niners win, we're going to have to give Kyle Shanahan some major credit, man. It's going to be largely because he was in his Duffy, as it were. Mm-hmm. The duffel, the bag. Because, I mean, for the first time, like, dude, Kyle, you're the coach of the year? Dude, right now, prove it. You're going against a slightly more talented team, just slightly, but an inferior coach according to everyone else, right? Mm-hmm. Show him what's up. Mm-hmm. Show Nick Sirianni what's up. I want to see. Well,
one thing that Kyle's done a really good job of since Purdy's taken over, their average yards of separation for their receivers, the 49ers, leads the league. I mean, by a wide margin. He's thrown to a lot of wide open receivers.
That's what I'm saying.
This week
it's the run game, though. It's the run game, though. And this is how I felt about Purdy last month. Is eventually in the in the playoffs, teams are going to take away the run game and put it all on him. And what's going to happen? Mm-hmm. He's not that kind of quarterback. You can't put it all on him. It's not supposed to be all on him. Kyle's supposed to be an equal participant, if not the senior partner here. And he wasn't. He didn't show up until the third quarter last week. So I'm looking at you, Kyle. You're the one with playoff baggage, not Brock. You're the one who wakes up in the middle of the night, 4:30 in the morning, and be like, oh my god, 23! Oh my god, 23! Oh, sorry. Oh my god, it was 23 in my dream. Like, that's you, not Brock. So I want to see what Kyle does. Today he was asked about his collapses. Just asked about it. Just a little bit of lingering frustration, given that you've been here and you haven't got it done. You should have seen the look Kyle gave Jason Cole. He was like, well, so he's like, how do you shut out the frustration? He's like, well, I don't read your articles. I was like, okay, Kyle.
Somebody should have been like, well, you should. I think I'm a pretty good writer. Pretty rude.
That's just uncalled for.
But I do agree. My point is that it is on Kyle because he has done such a great job. But now that the defense and the secondary is really good, can you still make those things happen? I don't know. We're going to see. Kyle, this is you, man. This is you.
What he did
because what we do know about Brock is if you give him those opportunities, he will cash in. So give him those opportunities.
In the first half against Dallas, it felt like what Kyle wanted to do was throw at Deron Bland every time. He had no respect for that guy. And I was funny. Mm-hmm. I was sitting next to Patrick Willis and Dante Whitner, and Whitner was like, yo, Patrick, look at Bland. Why are his ankles so taped up? He looks like a Satan. You can't move. When have you ever seen a corner with his ankles taped up like that? Like they were just making fun of him relentlessly. Patrick Willis and Dante Whitner, sorry for eavesdropping. But yeah, I don't think there's going to be a Deron Bland in the secondary that Kyle can just fixate on. And maybe that's a good thing because he needs to be fixated on the running game.
There is some Deron Blands, though, in that linebacking core. And that's where he can go crazy.
That is true. Robert says, I haven't seen any camera shots of Jimmy on the sideline mentoring Purdy during the game. Have you seen this? No. And also, Kyle Shanahan said something recently. He said, Trey Lance has been at every meeting. Every meeting.
Yeah.
Jimmy, not so much. He's on his own little rehab schedule, but Trey's been there at every meeting. Jimmy just Jimmy.
It's the same story. This is the same. This is why this dude can't be on the team. I'm sorry. I don't care what it. Oh, he's a leader and all. No, he's not. No, he's not. Because everything that comes out about Jimmy Garoppolo is him not being a leader. The only thing that shows he's a leader is you guys talking about it. When you guys are like, well, he's a leader and he commands the huddle and all the, this, that, and the third. But then you say, well, he doesn't respond to texts. Well, he's never there when he's rehabbing. He's impossible to get a hold of in the offseason. It's like, that's not a leader, man. I'm sorry. That's not a quarterback of a franchise. It's just not.
Yanni Vander's son says, give 19 the Rocky has one play TD potential. Ray too. Ray's been more explosive than him this year. Do you think the Niners going to win the Super Bowl and block party going into BMPP? I don't even know what that means.
I don't know what that means either.
Sure. Absolutely. The Mech says, hey guys, long time. This game is going to be on Kyle. What's up, Mech? I agree. Come on, Kyle.
For sure.
Exercise the demons. Does the metric for making faces at the camera matter?
Oh, what? For their coach, Sirianni? It's like this is like Zoolander. It's a walk-off between Sirianni and Kittle.
One look! Yeah. 49ers Daddy says, you think if Lance continued last season after the Texans game, you think he could have done similar to what Brock is doing? I don't know.
That's the thing. Nobody knows, man.
We don't know. I'm sorry. It's a good question, though. I understand why you're wondering. Jeremy Hahn says, Purdy missed Debo wide open twice Sunday. He fled the pocket too early a couple times after feeling pressure early, probably because caused Debo frustration. Yeah,
whatever, dude. You're the leader. He's the rookie. So then deal with it.
Thomas Geis. Whatever happened to Darius Geis?
Oh, running back for
whatever happened to him? He was good. Right? Did he get hurt? What happened to him?
No, I feel
he was good.
I feel like something sinister happened. Like there was
there was like a thing. There was a thing. Okay.
Like
Thomas Geis. Yeah, maybe. Thomas Geis says, go look at Philly's schedule and show me where the Niners should be scared. They say our schedule was weak, but Philly's was worse.
It wasn't. The 49ers rank literally dead last in strength of schedule. But I think the Eagles are 31.
31st.
So
I think so
much
too.
Better. Yeah.
Remilia Sports Report says, props Grant and Jesse. Will Kyle Shanahan add losing to back-to-back NFC championships to his resume Sunday? Will Kyle feel that pressure and freeze again? I guess we'll freaking find out, man. I understand why you would wonder.
I don't know, Remilia, but dude, this has got to be burning you up inside watching us play on Sunday again. You know it is.
Watch Ayuk throw a touchdown pass. That would be cool. I just don't see Kyle Shanahan getting out coached by Sirianni. He only has problems with the legends. His dad's enemies, Reed, Belichick, and Carroll, in big ones. Fair enough. If the Niners make Nick Sirianni look like a chump, that'll be hilarious to me, and I think it's possible because he has chump qualities. But, Jesse, if the Niners lose this game to the Eagles, would it be understood like, hey, great season, good effort? Or would it be kind of disastrous?
I think it's a disaster, man. And I think for two reasons it's a disaster. First of all, it's Kyle, again, getting here and not cashing
getting close.
in. I think that's number one, right? He's the king of getting close.
Yeah.
Same heat that Andy Reid felt early in his career, I'm sure, right? And he may eventually get over the hump, but man, this is your best chance. This is your best team. So if he doesn't do it now, that's a problem. Also, it's funny because 2 weeks ago I talked to you and you're like, oh, dude, there's no way that Purdy hasn't won this job. And now you're like, well, maybe, I don't know. If they lose
hold on real quick. What I was saying was it's Purdy's job and trade Trey. Now I'm saying maybe just keep Trey to hedge your bets. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Maybe you're not going to bench Brock because he lost one game. Like, that's literally not fair. But at the same time, I don't know what his future holds. I really don't.
Yeah, so you start to see a little bit of chinks in the armor, right? Once you take away his weapons, he's not whatever. So then let's just say they lose this game and Brock doesn't play that well. Now that door is wide open. I feel like
the Jimmy door opens again and people like, who was it?
Please.
Jeremy Price?
No. Yeah. I hope that door never opens again. Uh-huh. But I will say this. for the future of the franchise, it's a lot easier knowing who your quarterback is. And so if they win a Super Bowl, it's clear, right? Like we're going to roll with Purdy and that's fine. But if they don't, now all of a sudden you've got this whole offseason thing that is truly lingering. You got Shanahan again not cashing in. It's just not good. It's not good for the franchise. It's not good to start your season on a weird, shaky situation. It's just they got to get this done. They have to. And quite frankly, they were expected to get here with the teams that were laid out in front of them. The one time where they meet the tough opponent where it's like, well, maybe they could win, maybe they could lose. If they don't win in that situation, it's like, well, great. You beat up on a bunch of bad teams down the stretch. It looked good, but once you faced a good team, you couldn't cash in yet again.
Yep.
We've seen this story before. So
right.
I think it would be a disaster if they lost this game. That's just me.
I agree. And again, people would say it's a good story. They made it this far with their third string quarterback. But no, you're not trying to act like, well, we have our two guys coming back and this guy's just a temp. You're trying to say that this is your franchise quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Silver reported last week that he talked to people high up in the organization and said this is his job. He's our guy. Okay, so he's not your third string quarterback. Forget that narrative. Like all that, mushy, sentimental stuff is over. This is your guy. So get it done. He's better than Jimmy. He's more pro-ready than Trey, apparently. Get it done. Mm-hmm. I don't care that he's a rookie. And if you don't, I'm probably not going to blame the quarterback unless we'll see what happens in the game.
The only way that Purdy gets blamed is if he just comes out and plays horrible, which
if he turns it over multiple times. If he turns it over multiple times, it's on him. But if he doesn't,
I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen.
It didn't happen against Dallas.
Nope.
Michaels says here's $2. Plumbing God 42. I don't know if that's an innuendo or not. He might just be really into plumbing. Says over under 1.5 facial expressions toward camera from Sirianni. What is with that guy, man? Hey, I'm telling you. So Kyle is a media darling. Sirianni's the opposite. I don't think people in the league like him. I don't think he's known. I think people feel he's kind of like he's got antics. I don't think people like that guy, which makes me like him. You know what I'm saying?
You like the underdog. I like it.
Yeah. I like the outcast because I'm the outcast. Dominic says we already beat the Cowboys. We are going to the Super Bowl. What do you think about it? I'm in. I want to go. If they go, I'm going. You want to go too? You want to meet up, Dominic? You trying to do something? You trying to kick it?
What do you think about that?
Top golf? What you trying to do, bro?
Yeah. What do I think? Now the ball's back in your court. What do you think?
Yeah. Michael Duran says, who's related? He's one half of Duran. This is Jimmy Duran. Jimmy would have beat the Cowboys even with throwing picks. However, he wouldn't beat Philly. If Brock beats Philly, #legend. Yeah.
That by the way, I would agree. Yeah. I think they might make it here with Jimmy. Philly, they're not beating Philly with Jimmy.
If Brock beats Philly, dude, God, you got to respect that. Chris says, what can SF do to fully stop the Philly relook? Be super disciplined, patient, on their assignments for 60 minutes.
Send 5.
Agree. Ben Affleck's double chin says, us collab with Alex Reamer. You look like him. I feel like mostly English. But I don't know what you're talking about.
The problem is he's only got $2, so he has 50 characters, and he's trying to get it all in there.
I see what you mean. Dustin the Gale says, how do you feel about Kyle Shanahan saying with a straight face he prioritized getting rookies their reps? Yeah, that was hilarious. That was great, dude. Loved that. Corey Hyde said, can you explain how questions work at the press conferences you cover? Is it a free-for-all or is there a system in place? It's a free-for-all. And what I love about it is it's essentially like your interviewee is talking. And that's kind of like a basketball bouncing around the rim. And everyone's waiting for it to sort of bounce out. And then it's a rebound. And it's like who has the quickest, most forceful voice. Mm-hmm. You hear it. And what's funny is on the beat, like Eric Branch he covers the team for the San Francisco Chronicle. He's notoriously bad at this game. He doesn't even participate. So what the PR staff has done for 10 years is they always give him the last question. He doesn't want to participate in the contact sport, which is asking a question. So for whatever reason. So he whenever his last question is, they reserve it for Eric. And he gets his questions in, which is, we all accommodate. But hey, man, in the moment, if it's me and you going for this rebound, I'm getting that rebound over you, Eric. Yeah. 10 times out of 10. And you know it and I know it. It's a contact sport.
Yeah.
It is. It is.
That's interesting, and it's interesting that like everybody just kind of is like, all right, we'll let him get it in. You know, we let
The
him
one
get
thing that gets interesting is when you go head to head against Tracy Sandler or Jennifer Lee Chan.
She's a bully, man.
No, you're not supposed to bully a girl.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Like, bully is what I'm saying.
Oh, those women are legit journalists. I mean, they're not backing down. But if it's me against Tracy, I'm supposed to stop.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I'm not supposed to like, but I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, I'll just apply that. I'll just be like, hey, afterward, I'll be like, hey, Tracy, so sorry. I don't know what happened on that.
She's actually, what's funny about her, I actually texted you about this a couple months ago, is that she always does the same thing. She always overtalks, and then she's like, I'm really sorry about that. But then she doesn't, it's not like she lets anybody else I'm really sorry about that, but I'm going to continue my question also. Yeah.
It's a contact sport, and you got to respect those ladies for getting, throwing bows in the paint. You got to throw bows in the paint, and Eric doesn't, and he won't. And so you know what? There's no mercy. Sorry, man. You got to talk to the PR staff about that, because we will take that rebound from you.
Yeah.
Boardman gets paid. Who said that? Kawhi. Boardman gets paid. Niners were plus 95 points against common opponents.
That's true.
Word.
This ain't the regular season, and we're on the road. That's the equalizer.
Jimmy is just upset because he thought all Kyle's plays sucked, and Purdy showed that. No, it was just Jimmy that sucked.
That's so funny. The question that you asked, was it you that asked him that today, the Purdy question? Where you said, hey, is there ever a play you don't like? And he's like, no. That I feel like that was totally you taking a shot at Jimmy in an indirect way. Yeah, that was good.
Well, someone was asking, like, Jason Cole asked him, like, a long question about, hey, I heard your headset went out. Like, did you ask a play on your own? And he was like, yeah. I was like, wow. Oh, my God. So I was like, do you ever just listen to a play and be like, that's dumb. I'm going to call my own. Because apparently
my headset went out. My headset went out. I couldn't, yeah.
My dad would say that there was like a story. One of the ways that Joe Montana won over his team is that he would get a play from once in a while from Bill, and he would go into the huddle and say, "You're not going to believe this shit he just called," and he would just call whatever the hell he wanted. Yeah. I don't think Brock's quite there yet. Win the Super Bowl, then you can do that. You can do that. Hurts isn't that proven either in playoffs, right? Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
I agree.
Abu Marco says, feels like a Disney movie, and that is cool. But am I wrong for feeling really uneasy banking on our long-term plans on a physically limited guy who was in the 5th percentile height for QBs in the league? No. I think I'm right there with you, man.
No.
I'm right there with you.
No.
And what's great is the Niners can tell themselves they have 2 starting quarterbacks on rookie deals. How many teams can say that?
0.
Very little.
At least they don't have Zach Wilson.
Oh, God. They would have taken Zach Wilson over Trey Lance. They would have done it. I think they would have.
Would have been a disaster.
Oh, don't need a game manager 2.0. Need X Factor Lance. Possible. But I do want to say that calling Brock Purdy just a game, he is a damn good game manager. But he also is a playmaker. I'm sorry. Rolling left, hitting Kittle. Maybe Lance does that, but Jimmy doesn't. Jimmy does not.
He's like the in-between. Like, if there's such a thing as an in-between, he's that guy, which is really interesting.
Alejandro says, I feel like Purdy is an upgrade over Jimmy, but now we're in place where elite quarterbacks take over. I need to see him take over before I'm 100% behind him. Until then, don't trade Lance. I think that's a fair thing to say. I think that's kind of how I feel right now, too.
Yeah.
If they win the Super Bowl with Brock, though, I'm back open to trading Trey Lance at that point. Because it's like, dude, you have a Super Bowl winning quarterback, but they haven't done it yet. And maybe they win the Super Bowl 9-6, in which case I'm feeling like, you know what? So we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, there's so much left.
The how matters. Dominic says, do you think Bach Party is the guy? Bach, the composer? I love Bach. Such a Bach guy. I always throw on his 7th concerto. Grant, I like you asked BP, will he call his own play? I was feeling silly. But he laughed. He laughed.
He did laugh. He did. He definitely laughed. He enjoyed that.
Like, that's a fucking stupid-ass question.
And even if I did, I'm not telling you, dummy.
Would love to see either of you do a show with Dieter. I love Dieter. Dieter's great. Yeah, I got to get Dieter on here. Dieter's a good guy. Jacob Miller says Purdy has won more playoff games than Jalen Hurts. Abolish human. Okay.
Whoa.
Whoa. Whoa. Matthew says, why are the Niners constantly the underdogs in the league when they've clearly been a dominant force? Eagles have an equal chance of losing. This is Jalen Hurts' first NFC game. Is he going to be nervous? Did you expect the Niners to be favored on the road over the 1 seed? Did you really expect it? I think 2.5 point spread is
They're
respectful.
basically saying this is a coin flip game, which I think is fair.
It's respectful.
See, here's the thing. I think the odd makers got it right. I just feel like national media doesn't have this right. That's where I step in.
Fair enough. Sup with Bosa saying he hasn't seen much on Hurts. He did say that. He's like, I haven't really looked at that yet. I don't know.
Liar.
Liar. Like, Purdy is good, but Lance needs a chance. I know. He will, though. I mean, Kyle, there's one thing he could do consistently is get his quarterbacks hurt. I'm sorry. I'm an asshole. Kev F says, what is Purdy's trade value? Stock all-time high. That's a good question.
Yeah. I mean, I got to imagine he's worth a second at least.
Top 50, top 40.
Yeah.
I would think so. Yeah. Vincent. Grant, your negativity all week about this game just tells us you're picking us to lose.
Oh,
you don't
is
know
he
what
though?
I'm gonna do.
You
don't know what I'm gonna do, Vincent. Okay, it's time to play the.
You don't know me.
You don't know me. You're not my dad. You don't know me. You're not the boss of me. That's from I love Boogie Nights. That's one of the most quotable movies of all time. Can you imagine pitching that movie to a movie?
No. How do you pitch movies like
Give me the
that?
30
Zoolander, like
how do you pitch that?
Walk in and pitch Napoleon Dynamite. Like, how does that? What?
How? Okay.
Anyways,
let's play
over,
the
under.
NFC Championship game. Over under. Last week,
we tied. I haven't won in like 6 weeks, Grant. We've had like 3 ties.
I'm a slow starter. I'm like the Niners. You're the Eagles. You're a fast starter. I'm a fast finisher.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pause? I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm talking about.
All right. Over or under 220.5 passing yards for the 49ers in this game against the number 1 pass defense in the league, Grant.
225. Over under. For
220.5.
Under.
Last week it was the over game for you. This week you're going to
and it worked for me. I mean, at least
you tied.
Under. I don't know, man. This is a tough one. I don't know.
I agree.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go under.
I'm trying to be positive here, but I'm also trying to win, so I'm going under.
I'm gonna go under as well. Doesn't mean he can't have a good game. Yards isn't everything. He could throw 2 touchdown passes and no interceptions and still have a very good game.
Good point.
Okay, over under 135.5 rushing yards for the 49ers.
Oh, this is the game right here, right?
It is.
This is the game.
And
this
I don't know
determines
the
if they win. Damn, man.
They didn't get there last week. They actually didn't get either of these last week, and they still won.
Damn, that's crazy. You know why?
Dak.
Dakota
Rain Prescott.
I gotta say under. I'm sorry.
Ooh.
So I gotta say under, man. Dude, Christian McCaffrey's less than 100%. So is Mitchell. I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Damn, this one's. I'm gonna go over, but it's not gonna be my much. It's gonna be close, I think. I'm gonna go over. Okay. They allowed 2 sacks last week. Over or under 1.5 sacks allowed this week. Maybe they allowed 3.
1.5? I gotta go over.
Damn.
I gotta go over. Because if they give up 2 sacks, that's like a win. That's a freaking win.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to snowpile like it did against the Commanders where they picked up 9, right? Like that's a disaster.
Hold on. We're talking about Brock Purdy, sacks he's taking.
Brock Purdy getting sacked 1.5 times.
2.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm taking over.
Man, he's so good at not getting sacked.
He's great.
Though. That's the
he's
hardest.
So
he's so good at that.
It's great.
And Dallas's defense is faster. Son Reddick usually lines up on the right side of the line. He likes to roll left. I'm going to go under.
Okay.
I'm going to go under.
All right. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
3rd down conversions. 45.5% for this offense. Over or under. 45.5.
45%? Wow. Man, I'm really pessimistic, huh? I gotta go under, man.
I think this
I'm
is where
sorry.
the game might be won, man.
45%? Wow.
Yep.
Okay, I gotta go under on that.
This is where the game's won for me. This is where the game's won. And I am picking the 49ers to win. So I'm going to go over.
Okay, fair enough. Fair
I
enough.
don't feel great about it. Okay. Over under 0.5 turnovers for the offense. Again, they don't turn the ball over. That is one thing they have not done offensively in most of these weeks, actually.
.5?
Mm-hmm.
Over.
You think Brock's throwing a pick?
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
That's what you're saying. You hear
I'm
that?
not saying that. I'm not
Brock's
saying
gonna throw
that.
3 picks in
Because last week it was Ray Ray, right? Last week it was Ray Ray.
Well, but that was special teams, not offense. So
Offense only?
offense only.
See what you mean. See what you mean. I'm still going to say over. I'm still going to say over.
I gotta
because I know you're going to say under.
No.
Okay.
This is the number 1 pass defense in the league. I feel like they're going to get their hands on one.
Okay.
You know, tip pass, whatever.
And
All right.
Brock has gotten a little lucky. Not that he's made bad decisions, but you know, there's been some tip balls. There've been some drop balls. Like eventually it evens out. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely does. And he's thrown probably 2 every week, and none really get taken. So I gotta imagine the number 1 pass defense figures out how to get their hands on one. We'll see. All right, defense, over or under 2.5 sacks on Jalen Hurts / Gardner Minshew.
Yeah. 2.5, huh? I'm gonna say over. I feel like the Niners defense is gonna step up.
Okay. I mean, 2.5. You feel like they got to get there.
I mean, I asked Bosa to his face after the game, like, "What's up with you?" And he didn't like it. And I know Bosa plays his best when he gets some type of motivation, and I feel like he's like searching for it most of the time because everyone just says he's the greatest of all time. So I think I'm gonna be the reason that Bosa has 2 sacks by himself this week. Me.
You should do us all a favor and make a fake press clipping about their left tackle talking shit and give it to Bosa.
Or just me talking shit.
Did you
hear about all the shit I said about you? Did you hear that?
Just a clip of you just talking trash all season long.
Yeah.
Remember when I said they shouldn't draft you and then trade you and all these other things? They shouldn't sign you to an extension. That was me.
I did say that.
I'm gonna go under 2.5 sacks.
But it was just 4D chess to motivate him. That's what I do.
For sure. Yeah. I like that. It's a good fallback.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm gonna go under 2.5 sacks. I'm gonna go under. All right. Okay, over under 240.5 passing yards. 240.5 passing yards given up by this defense.
Over.
God, this number's so tough for me. I don't know what the answer is on this.
He's gonna take shots.
I know he is, and he's really good at throwing a deep ball.
He's gonna hit
really good at throwing a deep ball.
He's gonna hit 1 or 2. I don't know. I'm gonna say over.
I thought Dak would be over 230 last week too, and that didn't happen.
What was he?
Dak was at like 198 or something. It was so bad.
Yeah, fair. Okay.
I'm gonna go under on this one. I'm gonna go under.
I just won.
Okay, over under 105.5 rushing yards against.
Over.
Oh, you're
105. I like that. I thought it was gonna be like 120 something. 105. I'll take
but
that.
they only gave up like 76 last week.
Yeah, Tony Pollard got hurt.
That's true. Okay. I'm gonna go over on this one. Go over as well. Okay. Over under 1.5 forced turnovers for this defense.
1.5?
They've been getting 2 every week.
It's
for
true.
Like
it's true.
8 weeks in a row.
It's true. And they kind of need to get 2. The problem is this Hurts doesn't throw picks. He doesn't. He threw 6 this year. So you could turn the ball over, you could get takeaways, but it's fumbles most of the time. And that, I mean, are they going to strip the ball twice? Maybe. I'm going to say under.
Fred Warner might get one.
He might.
I agree. I'm gonna go under as well.
That's a tall ask. Yeah.
Yeah.
A tough ask.
I'm gonna go under as well. Okay. This one might be the tiebreaker, Grant. Over under 2.5 touchdowns against for the 49ers defense. Eagles are, I believe, the best in the red zone with Jalen Hurts at quarterback.
What do you think I'm going to say?
I think you're going to go under.
You're 100% incorrect.
Oh. You are picking the Eagles to win this game. There is no way, based off of the numbers that you just went over-unders on, that you're not picking the Eagles to win this game.
Hey, I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. I just don't know.
This is a Dumb and Dumber moment where it's like, flying somewhere? Yeah, you're flying somewhere. You're picking the Eagles to win this game. I knew, chat, you were right all along. I
don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. It could go either way.
God,
this is a toss-up. I'm going to have to flip a coin.
Right. I'm sure you are. I'm sure. And until it lands on heads, then you can say Philly. Okay, I'm going to go under.
Okay.
My score, I'll give my score prediction. I know that you wait for yours. I'm going 27-24 Niners. However, Philly gets a 2-point conversion. That's how they even things out and get to their 24. So
cool. I like it. That's good. I might give my score yet. But I'm definitely leaning towards the Niners winning this game. Muhammad says, hypothetical, Purdy wins a Super Bowl this year before the league catches on, and then Trey next year wins before the league catches on. Hypothetical. I love hypotheticals. Muhammad, that was wonderful.
Hypothetically, they could win the Super Bowl and the league does catch on and he's not the same next year. That's possible too.
Dominic Hewlett says, what do you guys think about the Niners winning the stupid? I love it. Go dumb. Go super stupid.
So dumb.
Do you think he meant to say that or he wasted $5 on this comment? What do you think?
I don't know, but I've got to say that it's a unique comment. And so
I love it.
Better than saying Super Bowl.
Dustin Daggs says, don't trade Purdy on cheap rookie deal. Oh, yeah.
No, we're not. Don't trade either one of them. I think we all agree on that. Or we two agree on that.
Matthew Sanders says, under 1.5 Niners get hit by flying trash by fans.
Over.
Philly,
popcorn, whatever.
The Mech says, Purdy consistently really good. Trey inconsistent great. So far. But they're both very young in their careers. So we'll see what they're at when they're 25. Andrew Flores says, what's your take on the Rook can't win the Super Bowl? How many rookies would even get an op like this with a squad like this? Of course, it hasn't been done. Yeah, I'm with you on this, Andrew. I mean, yeah, there's been very few rookies in this situation. I don't think it matters.
I felt like that was like a Jay-Z rap or something. Get an op like this with a squad like this.
It's true. Kind of did sound like Jay-Z. Armando says, Grant, next time I'm in the Bay, I'd love to take you and your dad out to dinner. You guys are awesome. Go Niners. All right, Armando, thank you. That was very nice of you. Macho Madness says, I feel like Silver is full of crap. Unless I hear it from Lynch or Shanahan, then Brock's team next season, I will believe it. Those 100% cubic competition. Here's the thing, too. I don't think Silver's full of crap. I know Mike Silver. He's been reporting for decades. He's not lying. But it's one thing for a team to whisper to Mike Silver. It's another thing for a team to say it with their chest on the record. If you're not willing to do that, then it's not real. It's not real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
To me, you know what this screams? This screams that there's division on what they should do. I think Kyle Shanahan, first of all, is the ultimate decision maker. He's not, I promise you, he's not thinking about that at all. He's not. He's got these important games on his mind. So I don't think the decision has been made. I think it's fair to say the decision can be forced upon them if they win a Super Bowl. I get those things. But that also screams to me like there are people in the front office that want it to be Brock, and maybe there's some people in the front that want it to be Trey. And so how do we get out in front of it and put our narrative out there? Well, we'll talk to Silver.
I also think it means that the Niners want to see how the season ends.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think you got to see how the story ends before you make a decision on the next chapter. Matthew Scott says the line at 2.5. The line is at 2.5 points. Neutral field and the Niners are a half-point favorite. We talked about this earlier.
Yeah.
It's not a 3-point advantage for being at home anymore. Teams do a better job of winning on the road. I still think it means that Vegas thinks Philly is slightly better, but it's about a pick 'em. Why is Debo Wyback no longer working? Because Debo's not in the shape he was in last year. He's not as explosive as he was last year.
Also, I mean,
it's been scouted. There were like three concepts.
Obvious what they were gonna do when they were gonna do it. Like that's
true.
It's
true. East Dad says gamer and true Niner faithful in New Jersey. Grant, you guys freaking rock. Keep shining. I'm gonna try. Thank you. Stephen Pryor says, just reminding you about the receipt from Monday's super chat where I called Sunday being Jordan Mason's game. Your Jordan Mason dreams are coming true on Sunday, over 140 yards and 2 TDs. Dude, if that's how they win, I will be such a proud. I might even become a Niner fan again.
Bro, just kidding.
Jorge says, this team could have won trace Super Bowls if they don't come through this playoff season. We cannot become the 90s Bills. Successes are only MFing option, failures not. I love Jorge. Jorge has got his head on right today. I'm with you.
What about the Eagles teams that kept coming up short? They were very Buffalo Bills-ish too with Andy Reid.
Yeah, well then they fired him and they've won one without him and they could win another one. I don't know. Maybe Andy Reid wasn't right for them. Maybe he needed to move on and go to Kansas City. I don't know.
Yeah.
Howie Roseman seems to know what he's doing. Rodrigo says, if Trey is traded, could the Dolphins or Jets be interested? What teams do you think could be the best landing spots for him? Maybe Ravens if Lamar is out. You just named three.
Yeah.
Miami's interesting because they definitely need another guy with Tua.
Falcons, Colts. I mean, there's some teams there.
I don't think Saleh has the time to do a project. I think he needs he needs Jimmy. He needs like Captain Save a Coach is what he needs. I don't know if he can, Sorry. Love you, Robert. Matthew Scott says it was mentioned on another channel that half of the Eagles sacks came in their 3 division opponents. Jesse mentioned it too.
So actually more than half. So 41 of their sacks came in 6 games. Those 6 games were one against the Giants, where they got 7 sacks, I believe. One against the Saints, where they got 7. One against the Commanders, where they got 9. Steelers, Titans, and one other team. They got 6 in all. Oh, in Chicago, they got 6 in all 3 of those. So 41 sacks in 6 games.
Cryptic says, is this Shanahan's Steve Young moment of finally getting the monkey off his back if he wins a Super Bowl? Also, over-under if he retires if he wins. No.
He won't retire. No. And yes, definitely if they can get a Super Bowl. For sure it would be.
Dominic loves us. We love you.
Love you too.
Justin says, you think the quarterback really is back to 100%? I don't.
I don't think he's far off. I don't think it matters at this point.
I don't know. He didn't look like the same amount of runner.
I do want to see. I want to say this. The shoulder injury, from everything that I've read, actually never affected his throwing. It was the running aspect that it affected.
It looks like it's affecting his running.
Yeah.
It does look like it's affecting his running. Sanfran82 says Brock Purdy, a.k.a. Dirk Diggler, will have his best game Sunday. Brock Landers, Dirk Diggler, love it. Matthew Sanders says last game of the year. Brent can't hold it. I know you said that already. Waterboy reference.
Nice.
Is that Dan Fouts talking to Brent Musburger? Yes. Matthew says, hypothetical Niners lose on Sunday. Are we still making Bosa highest paid DN and going after another Super Bowl run? I don't know. Bosa's going to be so expensive. Oh my God, I can't wait to see how much money he gets.
But this is why you have rookie quarterbacks right here.
True. Can't get over McGlinchey getting rock bottom. He got rock bottom.
Dude. But he actually played well in the game. That's the sad part. He actually played well, and then that was like the moment everybody's going to talk about.
It is the sad part. Todd Anderson says, remember Ravens defense with unathletic Dilfer? We have this awesome defense with the way Purdy is playing. All good things. I do remember. I was there. I was 12. I remember. I was about to have my bar mitzvah. I remember. Macho Madness says, run Debo 6 times was a guarantee win last season. It was. I don't know if it is anymore, but it was last year. I'll have to look that up.
Definitely.
Dominic says, I love you guys. Do you love me? We do. We said that.
We said it, Dominic.
We said we love you.
Yeah. Okay. Now you're getting a little pushy. I might have to end this.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I don't love you anymore. I take it back. Yeah. All right. That's the show. Hour and a half. These shows are getting long. Thank you so much. Did you guys see the Bills GM making excuses today? Yeah, I did. That was funny as hell. But he's talking about what I'm talking about. That rookie wage scale is such a cheat code. If your best players are on that rookie scale, you are a juggernaut. Look out for Jacksonville next year.
Yeah, seriously. Well, they got bulky. Maybe not.
That's the show. What you got coming up next?
I got nothing tonight, but head over to Last Second Sports. I've got a Behind Enemy Lines tomorrow night with a Philadelphia Eagles content creator. I almost said Phillies. Philadelphia Eagles content creator. That'll be a lot of fun. Definitely enjoy those shows this year.
Love it.
You're going a 90 in a school zone. I need you to slow down, Grant.
Dominic doesn't love us. Well, that's okay. The feeling's mutual, Dominic.
Yeah. Well, hold on. Maybe I love him again.
Maybe. Thanks for watching the show. I'll be back tomorrow doing more 49ers coverage. Justin, what did I say? Who will the Eagles attack most on our... Really? The show's over, Justin. I don't know. Probably the D tackles. The D tackles. They got a really good interior offensive line.
Ebicom?
So, Armstead, maybe Ebicom. Anyway, show's over. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. I love you. I love you all.